All right, bright switch, what happens? It gets bright. Turn that off. Deep switch, what happens? It gets deep. Go back to the deep switch. Try that on the neck pickup. Take the deep switch off. Put the bright switch back on. A little extra hair, that bright switch on. By the way, right now I have the FET and the pre-volume up to noon, so there is a bit of saturation going on there. Let's put them both together, bright and deep. Both off. All right, on to the jazz slash rock switch. I've been in the jazz position, which is quieter, flatter, not as boomy as the rock setting. Back to the middle position. I'm gonna surf, don't worry, we're gonna get to it. It seems like every control on this amplifier is a decision in between twangy and creamy. Do you want to sound twangier or do you want to sound fatter and creamier? Do you want to sound bright and brittle? Do you want to sound dark and mellow? And you balance out all these different controls and all these different parts to come up with this recipe, this tonal recipe. And after a lot of reflection and spending time with this amplifier, a conclusion that I've come to is that the reason why Dumble style amplifiers are associated so closely with extremely talented, like top tier, top shelf players, top shelf tone connoisseurs, is not because these amps just sound good when you flick on the power switch. It's because they give you so much control. The Dumble style loadout, like the steel string singer style loadout, it enables someone who has a very talented ear and a very talented perspective on guitar tone to come up with some incredible sounds. And then, you know, a layperson can easily get themselves in trouble and make sounds that are too dark or too brittle, too bright, too gritty, not gritty enough. It is an amp that requires some talent and some skill and some intuition from the user. All right, moving on. Really basic 3-band EQ here. If you used any amp in your life, you know how it works. Bass knob, all the way up, all the way down. I like it right about there. Middle, you can boost it. You can scoop it. I like it right about 1 o'clock. Treble, boost it. Noon.
Making music doesn't have to be expensive. This holiday season, save big on Fender, Boss,
all the way off. That is dark. It's jazzy. All right, put that back to a normal setting. I love this guitar, by the way. I'm using my Fender American Vintage 2 Jazzmaster. It has some issues out of the box, but I've remedied them and I like playing it a lot. I'm gonna put a new pickup in this soon. I'm gonna put this humbucker from Alameda Guitars in there in the bridge, so I can use this in more demos. So keep a lookout for that. All right, on to the filter section now. This is important stuff. And I'm gonna do this all again when I've got it dialed in to have some grid on it. So the high, and then I'm really gonna show this off when I turn on my external surf reverb here. But the high, that click, not drippy. This click, that's where the drippy starts. I'm assuming that all the way to the right is just wide open. But as you click back, it starts to darken up. Hear that? That's really where the line is. I like it right about there. But then we click it back. Now this is really important if you're gonna run drives into this, because in my experience so far, on the brighter side of the high filter, it's really like brittle and harsh sounding, which might be what you want, but then you click it back to the left of noon and it starts getting creamy, it starts filtering the drives in a more traditional, kind of like fattening sort of way. But again, we'll come back to that when we're making gritty sounds. Here is the low filter. So all the way open, all the way over there. Start pulling it back. Starting to get brighter as you pull it back. See what I mean? You're making decisions in between twangy and creamy. Has a bit of like this vocal, nasal, like scooped sort of sound to it. And with all the other tonal controls, like you could have it be a really nasal sound from the filter section, but then boost your bass, put on the deep switch, turn up the fattening switch back here, all that sorts of stuff, and balance it out and come up with these like really specific, unique tones. Let's go full opposites. The low filter all the way down and the high filter all the way up. I haven't tried this yet, so let's see what happens. I was expecting it to be brighter. It actually has more mid character to it. That's more nasal right there. Interesting. There's so much to learn. Now let's go all the way fat. Yeah. Just warm and creamy. Put it back where I like it. Now the reverb. Should I go straight to the reverb or should I mess around with the presence? Let's do the tonal controls first and then we'll get into the reverb. So presence, it's a normal presence knob. Left to be darker. Right to be brighter. Because of course, every single knob has to be a decision in between twangy and creamy. Put that back where I like it. And now the switch on the back, I've had it in the up position, which is the fatter sounding setting. Put it all the way down to the bottom. Quieter, it's brighter, it's not as full. Middle position. Top position. All the way back to the bottom again. Top position. It's just fuller on the top position, but I could see being in a band situation and just being like, I'm just a little bit too muddy. I'm just fighting with the bass too much, or I'm fighting with the rhythm guitar or the keys or something. I just need to go brighter. You've got a quick and easy little thing right there to just suck out some low mids and stuff like that. And I have a feeling like when I've spent real time with this, using it in band scenarios and recording scenarios and things like that, it's gonna become intuitive. Like, it's just that weird little band right there. I know how to fix that here on the filter or on this thing or the presence. Like every little bit is gonna affect a different segment of the tone in a different way. Like, there's just a little bit too much grit on the high mid. So I'll do something versus another thing to control the grit on the low mids. Like that's what I'm talking about. This is a dream amp for the clean amp tone tweakers out there. You want a clean signal and you want to get so specific and just build your own sound. This style amp is where it's at. It is honestly ridiculous. All right, let's get into the drive sounds now. I'm just gonna, here. I'll show off the range of the FET gain. All the way down is all the way off. Got more jangle with the FET all the way up. If you want to bypass the FET, there is another plug right here, the NDR. Or NOR? It's NOR. It's this weird like calculator font that Dumble used. I thought that was a D. It's an O for normal. NOR is normal. So if you want to bypass the FET, you plug into that. I think the FET just, it boosts the compression. It boosts that jangle. You get that pop. And it's going to push it into drive as I turn up that pre-volume as well. All right, the pre-volume now. Start with it all the way down because of course. There it is. There is the grit. I think I'm going to switch guitars for this section because you guys need to hear a humbucker, right?